Israel has vowed to demolish Hamas as it readies to retaliate for last week's horrific terror attack. As we go to where, more than 2,500 Gazans are now dead, many of them children, with officials warning of worse to come. And a warning, some viewers may find this next story distressing.
Hamas is an enemy, but not just of Israel. Hamas is an enemy of all peace-loving Palestinian people who are left to pay a devastating price.
Restraint, discipline, these are the hallmarks of the Israeli Defense Force that I want to see.
We join the calls of President Biden and other partners for Israel to operate by the rules of war.
A chorus of global leaders backing Israel's right to retaliate, now warning of overreach.
The way that Israel does this matters. It needs to do it in a way that affirms the shared values that we have for human life and human dignity.
Iran issuing a warning to Israel.
آنها در منطقه هشدار می‌دهم که تا دیر نشده.
President Biden warning Iran and Lebanon's Hezbollah not to get involved.
Don't come across the border. Don't escalate this war.
That's right.
Gaza under total blockade, pounded by Israeli bombs.
Not one drop of water, not one grain of wheat, not a liter of fuel that has been allowed in the Gaza Strip for the last 8 days. Gaza is running out of life.
Meanwhile, 3 repatriation flights carrying hundreds of Australian passengers left Tel Aviv overnight.
I feel so proud and so fortunate to be Australian.
The Foreign Minister warning Aussies in Lebanon to consider leaving amid deadly clashes on the border with Israel.
What I've said to people is, if you are there, please consider if your presence is essential.
The movement of 1.1 million Gazans south still underway.
So those who want to save their life, please go south. And the reason is that because we don't want to harm them.
Northern Gaza's main hospitals at breaking point, filled with thousands of the sick and wounded, and expected to run out of emergency fuel within 24 hours.
Asking 1.1 million people to move from North to South Gaza in such a short window will create a humanitarian tragedy.
A humanitarian tragedy unfolding in slow motion.
Really hard to watch. You can't imagine this is going to improve anytime soon. It's only going to escalate. Hamas has still got hostages that the Israelis want back, men, women, children, and other foreigners. And Israel clearly thinks that their threat of a ground invasion is the only way to convince Hamas to let those people free. You can't see it happening, can you?
Yeah, I mean, do you get the feeling Hamas is about to release hostages in response to that threat? I just don't think that. I can't imagine. Say you're running or you're working in a hospital in northern Gaza right now, and you know that's the bit that eventually Israel is going to attack. So they've said get down there in 24 hours. To be fair to Israel, they have extended that deadline, but nonetheless, you're in the zone. And you're trying to treat people. And as we just reported there, you're going to run out of the fuel to run a hospital within 24 hours. Yeah. What are they meant to do after that? Like, seriously, how are they meant to treat any of their civilians?
You'd all hope that hospitals are going to be exempt from attack, but they haven't been. Hamas in the past has used hospitals to harbour their own equipment and try and protect them. So you feel for the doctors in particular. I mean, the doctors who are working in there trying to save people's lives.
And literally choosing who to save.
The machine's going to be turned off. It's horrible.
It's awful.